assalamu alaikum, Giano, Pachera, Galeri, Hamash, Uneshume, Washmale, Ohio, Gonzaimas, hi, hugs and hellos to all those beautiful, amazing people who are tuned into PTV World and PTV Global at the same time. You guys are watching World this morning alongside Shahzad Khan and Mukdum. Hello, Maha, how are you? Happy Friday.
Hi, happy Friday to you too. I'm very good. Thank you. How are you today?
Absolutely perfect. And yeah, struggling a bit.
Yeah, well, it's you're almost at the end of your working week, so we're almost there. But today we have a very interesting show for you today. Today is actually World Photo Day, right? And Shahzad, do you want to do the honors about it, because I know you've done a lot of research.
Yes, obviously I'll do a bit of thing about it as well, ladies and gentlemen. 177 years ago, the first image was created. It wasn't really captured. It was created. It might have been painted, sketched, or there might be other things to it as well. But within these 177 years, if you go back in time till 2016, I think there has been quite an evolution as well.
Absolutely.
So from sketching, you know, there has been print media, then we have social media, then we have probably videos, and then films, and then video games, animations. There has been so many other things which just had to do a little with all of those images out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's really important to highlight these things because it's good to have this information, and it's also good to realize how far we've progressed as human beings as well.
Exactly. And then at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, there are two important things to discuss today. The first one, obviously, is the photo day, but then the other one's like far more beyond our expectations, and you know, there are people who have been helping other people, other souls as well. It's National Humanitarian Day as well today.
Oh, okay, yeah, we're going to mention it. I thought we were going to mention it later, but
I thought it'll give them the feel of it as well. And
so that'll be in our second half as well. So we'll be discussing both things today.
Yeah, but for the film and the photo day, we've got somebody who's a film teacher as well in Lahore, and he's a poet himself. He recites ghazal, in fact reads or probably sings ghazals as well. And he's none other than Mr. Ahmad Hammad. He's alongside us. Hello, assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Walaikum assalam, I'm good, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. And one last thing, he's also author of 5 poetry books as well, and we have also got his latest one, which will be coming out, and we will be discussing it during this segment.
Yeah.
So Shahzad, you can ask the first.
Yes, obviously, I'll get started. So first of all, what do you have to say about knowing that it's a photo day, probably?
Well, I am quite excited because it takes me to the past. I am a fan, and I'm a man of cinema, and I like the photos being moved in front of my eyes, and those
on those roles as well.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
and along with the sound, it really creates some hypnotic experience for all the cinegoers. And when you are within the theater, you actually get inspired from a lot of things, and those lot of things are actually coupled with sound and visuals.
Yeah.
So basically, I am quite excited about the photos you are talking of. And see, as you in introduction, you mentioned that photo has evolved itself into movies now and into animations.
Yes.
So this is quite exciting for me.
Absolutely. Okay, so now in regards to your career, you're a poet and you're also a film teacher, so today is very relevant for you as well. So now talking about, because you're a teacher as well, so what is happening right now? You're on your 6th book, is this correct?
This is the 5th one.
This is the 5th one, sorry.
And
My
this
maths
is the
is
second
off.
edition of
Yes.
the...
So why did you write it? How did you get into it? And you know, being a film teacher as well and then a writer, how does that play hand in hand?
Well, I became film teacher later. First of all, I started writing poetry, and maybe in my teenage, I used to write poems and ghazals, and the rhymatic schemes and the rhythm and this music within poetry that runs in the veins of poetry actually inspires, actually that captivates us when you are young, when you are in teenage, obviously. So ashar and the verses and rhymatic schemes actually haunt you. Similarly, they haunted me as well, and I started writing poetry. And later on, when I started studying film, I came to know that film is like a poem. Very interesting. It is very interesting. Film is like writing a poem. Film is like reading a poem, as we have some parameters of poems. For example, we have alphabets, we have rhymatic schemes, and we have some, especially in Urdu, we have kafiya and radif. Similarly, when we are making a film, we have some limitations and we have some tools, and those tools are actually the alphabets of film.
But what is the justification? I mean, I seriously do not want you to answer this, but then at the same time, what is the justification of writing poetry in 21st century? I mean, why do people still write when you can probably type?
That's a very good question, and actually it is a little pinching one as well.
Yeah, that's why I was like, man, I don't know whether you want to answer it or not.
I am going to answer.
Yeah, oh, go ahead.
Definitely. Well, since the inception of humanity, people have been attracted to lyrics, and when mankind started off the civilization, when they became civilized, they started learning things through lyrics. They started writing things, writing the sciences even in lyrics, in poetry, and this is how they used to learn things by heart. You know, geography was written in poetry, medicine, even for that matter, was written in poetry. So in the early ages.
Do you remember any of the couplet from those medicine books, or probably any other book? The way it was written.
I can recall something. Agar jaade mein lagti hai tujhko sardi, to kha ande ki zardi. That was something like that.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Should I translate that for you?
Yeah, you can do that too as well. I mean, people were, you know, what he was trying to say over here, the couplet was that, you know, if you think that, you know, you're feeling cold, so what you should have is a yoke.
Yeah,
a cold
exactly.
Yoke can actually
if you're
sound.
shivering of cold in winters, just intake some yolks and you will be feeling better.
So that's how they used to learn things.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And Philip Sidney told that poetry was the midwife of all sciences.
Okay.
And in the 21st century, poetry is still relevant. Why? Because you see, still in films, a film cannot go without having 5 or 6 songs. And
well, in Hollywood it does.
But you see, there are some very good movies on poetry, and very good art movies.
No, I'm not saying that there are no films on poetry or no art movies, but you know, since we were just talking about the justification of it, so you said, so while justifying it, you said that, you know, okay, there's no film coming out without 5, 6 songs, but I have seen so many Hollywood movies without songs.
Very good objection. Very good objection. See, the Eastern people are also living in the 21st century. Our 21st century is not different from the people of the West.
Okay.
So similarly, when Pakistanis and Indians are making movies, they don't go without you know, inserting songs into that. So obviously, in the 21st century, people are writing poetry for film, and even, you know, rhyme is with us.
Yes.
Music is inside us, and in poetry, the music, it is the music that haunts you.
Exactly.
You know. So
and even for dramas, poetry is
yeah,
being written as well.
Title songs are written.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so now you're talking about the relevance of poetry in the 21st century. But do you think that the quality of the poetry right now that's being written or published is at that same level that we used to be producing at?
Yeah, you see, when Iqbal was writing, who knows how many poets were writing at that time. It's the test of time. It's actually the judgment or the result of time that brings out the outstanding poet to you. Similarly, we are writing, and who knows who will be the outstanding poet after 50 years.
You can get a rough idea, no? I mean, because if it's not good, it's not good. I mean,
but they are writing in an excellent way.
Okay.
Believe me, I guarantee you, our people are writing phenomenal poetry.
Okay,
for example, Faiz Ahmad Faiz wrote excellent poetry, and he's been translated into so many languages. And Miraji has been translated. Mijid Amjad is a wonderful poet.
Exactly.
And nowadays, people are writing excellent poetry, and those Nasir Ahmad Nasir is writing poetry. He's a living legend, and he's our contemporary, and he's writing excellent poetry, and that has been translated into various languages.
Okay.
So people are writing excellent poetry.
Okay, but then, you know, they say that it's an era of fiction as well. So what do you think is the future of poetry?
Yeah, they say that this is the era of fiction because, you know, Harry Potter actually has haunted an entire generation.
Too many things has been haunting
So
you.
good. I love Harry Potter.
Yeah, and you know, oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, over here in Rawalpindi, there is a Harry Potter themed restaurant.
Oh, it's in Rawalpindi? Because
Yes.
no one knew where it was.
It's in PWD, and everybody's going crazy, so you can
want
obviously
to
check
go.
it out. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, sorry,
The
continue.
Hogwarts restaurant, I think.
Okay, nice.
This is why they say that this is the era of fiction. You see, this is the era of long fiction, novels are being written as in English, Harry Potter, and in Urdu there are phenomenal
50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of
That's not a good, I mean, that's each to their own, but that's not poetry.
And for what is about 40 Rules of Love?
Yeah.
Yes, that was a
That's
beautiful
good.
book, yeah, absolutely.
Right. And in Urdu as well, people are writing novels. For example, we say that as there are 3 Shahs in Bollywood, Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, and Amir Khan. Similarly, we have 3 Hussains in Urdu fiction, Intizar Hussain, Abdullah Hussain, and Mustalsal Hussain. So they are writing excellent novels. They have written actually, Abdullah Hussein's Udas Nasle and Nadar Log are the excellent pieces. Similarly, Intizar Hussain wrote Basti. And
So then that's the future of poetry that will probably transcend to novels and, you know, such write-ups.
No, to me, if poetry should be taken as the sublime form, as the sublimation of fiction.
Okay.
You know, in the primest form, novel becomes poetry. So I think that this is quite relevant, number one. And number two, the age of great poetry is yet to come as a poet, I believe.
Okay. Now, just sidestepping, how important do you think it is? Because now in the current situation of the world, you know, with the social issues, with the economic issues, with the political issues which are happening, how important do you think it is for poets to actually reflect what's happening within the society, or are they supposed to keep it quite romanticized? What do you feel as a poet yourself?
Well, I'm really happy that the questions are really very good, and I appreciate both of you. You see, when an intellectual talks, he appeals your rational faculty, whereas when poet talks, he appeals your heart and he appeals your emotional faculty. And I think that everybody knows that we are the combination of heart and mind. When you are sensitized by your teacher, that and sensitized rationally that these are the problems of the world and these are the solutions, you take it as a problem rationally, obviously, but that does not have the that is not flowed down into your heart. But when a poet comes and start telling you, and first of all he emotionally engages you and then starts telling you these are the problems, but please don't worry, we do have some solutions as well. Please take these solutions, and obviously you listen by heart because the poet addresses your heart, and obviously our emotions get engaged first and our rational capability comes follows it.
Amazing.
great.
And then, you know, that we've got a great heritage of poets as well and writers as well. But then at the same time, you know, they say that the most important thing in a film is script, and script. So, you know, you guys being so amazing poets as well and then writers, why do you think that the scripts these days are not what we were expecting?
Fortunately, it's not only the script that matters in a film. With the poor script and with the powerful production, for that matter, direction.
I mean, if you being a film teacher saying that powerful production and script being poor can pull it off, then I think that the viewers need to really keep
Well,
their
it's about
levels
entertainment,
up
right?
a bit,
Because even you have these super films from America and stuff, and it's not the best storyline, but visually it's amazing.
Exactly. Thank you very much. When Sholay was produced,
I'll disagree to that.
No, when Sholay was produced, Indian film, Sholay, Amitabh Bachchan's great blockbuster, when that was produced in a press conference, the director was asked, that the journalist actually criticized that you mingled at least 5 to 6 films and you made one film. And he said that why did not some other director come forward and made that formula put to work? If you know that this is the storyline and it is very simplistic, one villain, one hero, and villain actually, you know, kidnaps heroine and she sings the song.
But one last thing, you know what you should have done? You should have quoted Jawani Phir Nahi Aani, who's done most of the business within the Pakistani
I was coming to Pakistan
cinema
as well.
and after the revival of cinema as well, and then they are coming with Jawani Phir Nahi Aani too. All the examples you've quoted from across the borders, I don't like it.
Thank you, being patriotic. But I'm also very patriotic. You see, I was coming to Moor, and wherever I'm asked, I always mention Moor as the masterpiece of Pakistani
Jami
cinema.
did a great job.
Yes, Jami is a wonderful, wonderful director. And believe me, I think that he is the modern, he is the David Lean of modern day. David Lean's Dr. Zhivago, you see the cinematography of that film will definitely inspire you.
Absolutely.
That will inspire you as brilliantly as Moore inspires you.
Exactly, and it's a really good reflection of the potential that the Pakistani cinema has. But we've actually run out of time. Thank you so much for being here today, and best of luck with the latest edition. Shahzad, do you want to read it?
Yeah, the title says Tere Khayal Ka Chand by Hammad as well, and he's going to sign this as well and give us the copy. But you can share a few couplets from this book as well before we, wrap up.
If you'd like to recite.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yes, why not? I would like to recite, well, without having any text in front of me. I can
So you remember
recite
that because you've written it. Yeah, go ahead.
ذات میں تیرے بغیر ایسا ادھورا پن ہے. ذات میں تیرے بغیر ایسا ادھورا پن ہے, کوئی بھی کام مکمل نہیں ہونے پاتا. ذات میں تیرے بغیر ایسا ادھورا پن ہے, کوئی بھی کام مکمل نہیں ہونے پاتا. یوں تو افسانے محبت کے کہے جاتا ہوں, یوں تو افسانے محبت کے کہے جاتا ہوں, ایک تیرا نام مکمل نہیں ہونے پاتا.
Beautiful. That's amazing. And if you can translate it for our amazing people out there as well. So I think that'll be great. So I think of you.
Well, I can translate, but I think that it will lose the essence as we were, talking off the screen. Anyhow, I try if we have time.
Yeah, quickly. We need to quickly translate it, yes.
Okay. Zaat mein tere, without you, I feel hollow and I'm incomplete without you.
Okay.
And therefore, I leave things incomplete because I feel incomplete myself.
Okay.
Wow.
Very nice. Great. Thank you so much for your time, and best of luck with the poetry release. Okay, guys, we're going to go for a short break, and when you come back, as you mentioned at the beginning of the show, it is also World Humanitarian Day, so we will be discussing that with some wonderful guests in the studio. Stay tuned.
Thank you.